Hi everyone, and welcome back to Anthony's Career Advice. My name is Anthony, and today I'm going to try to offer you some career advice. Today's topic is going to be focusing more so on people who are beginning their careers, right? So maybe you've just started a new job, you just graduated from whatever program you've just finished taking, and you want to try to grow your career. So today I'm going to try to talk quickly about 5 things that I think that are going to help you achieve the ultimate goal that you're looking for. Now, these are in no particular order, so let's get into it. So the first thing is, I think sometimes obvious, but we gloss over it or we forget about it, is do what you're paid to do very well, right? If your goal is to grow, then you have to make sure that you're able to deliver on what's expected of you. Most leaders or managers typically, when thinking about trying to give people opportunities or offer additional guidance and support, usually look at, well, how are they performing? Because if they're not performing well, then that may be an indicator that they may not be successful in other tasks. Now, they may not be successful, or you may not be successful because you have no interest in it, but that doesn't change the fact that you're being paid to do it. So, if you really want to move ahead, you want to grow your skills, tackle different challenges, and work on different projects, and it starts with doing what you're paid to do well. Right? The next thing is sometimes we think of growth and we think of it as too personal. It's what do I want? Now, it's important and it's obvious that we think that way, but what you really want to try to do is always look at your growth from the benefit of 2 different parties, one being you, obviously, and the other being your employer, which means start focusing on paying attention and connecting with people from other departments who are probably tackling similar problems that you are, just from a different perspective, or maybe different problems altogether. That may align with areas that you thought you were interested in, or it may introduce you to other areas. But really what you're trying to do is soak up as much information as possible through the lived experiences of others, or whatever anybody's prepared to share with you. Whether that could be in a company newsletter, it could be even if you're looking at their Outlook and just looking at the different teams that you have, try to find out who are the people and in what places and what they're doing, because that may spark an area of interest where you could do a deeper dive and invest your effort and energy in trying to develop a skill. Okay? To piggyback off of that, here's the third thing. Think about as what can you do with your additional time, right? So when we think of growth, we sometimes hope that it fits within a nice little bubble of between the hours of when I start work and when I stop work. But the reality is it's a competitive environment. So what you want to consider doing is look for opportunities to offer services or supports that go outside or above and beyond what you're currently responsible for. Now follow me here for a bit, okay? So look at it as I do my job very well, and I will be rewarded by doing my job very well and working very hard. But if I stay within that skill set or showcasing that I can only solve those problems, my reward will be similar problems or staying within a similar space. So in essence, to expand your brand, you look at where else you can add value, which means you're exposing yourself into a place where there may not necessarily be rigid outcomes associated with your efforts, which is really great because it promotes a really healthy working environment or learning environment, which then allows you to then focus the attention onto understanding what skill you can develop, where you can add value, and it serves as a great talking point formally during an interview or informally if you're talking to senior leadership, or just letting people know who you are and what you're capable of. So in essence, your brand is that you're ever evolving and that you're open to doing more and you're being strategic about it, okay? So volunteer yourself for projects, or if you choose to, that take you outside of the scope of work that you're accustomed to doing, that help the organization and build your skill set. Now, another thing is I work with a lot of people who say, man, I wish I had a mentor. You know, that one person who can put their arm over my shoulder and give me guidance as to what to do. Now, there are pros and cons that come with that. Finding one person is great because it almost feels like all paths or roads lead through them, right? So we think of it as easier, but the reality is that can be limiting because it's their own experience, right? So they may be able to share what their path was like, but what if it doesn't align with you? Or what if their approach doesn't align with you? Then what? Then you have a bad mentor? No. What you want to consider doing, excuse me, what you want to consider doing is thinking about having multiple mentors. Now, what does that mean? Look at it as any problem that you're trying to work through as also an opportunity to connect with someone who has solved that problem. Okay? So what that means is at every stage in your professional life, based on what it is that you're trying to tackle, there can be a person there who can help guide you through it. So that could be a peer, a leader, a supervisor, someone 2 levels above you, 5 levels above you, someone a level below you for all we know, someone in your current professional circle, someone in your social circle who may be connected to people who may have some kind of vested interest in you professionally. So when thinking about a mentor, don't try to be rigid and try to find one. It's limiting. Look at everybody who can possibly help you along in your journey, because they don't just represent an answer to a short question. They represent relationships that can help guide you down a path into the future that may provide you with the growth that you're looking for, right? And the last thing here that I think is important, and I don't want to gloss over, is your attitude. So this may come off as blunt, but it's supposed to. You're not entitled to, or nor does anybody owe you anything, okay? If we're thinking about work from the context of a relationship, it's compensation for services rendered. So as long as you deliver, then you can expect to be paid and provided with a safe work environment. Those are the staples. If you're finding that you're not happy with the work that you're doing, not happy with maybe how your role has evolved or changed, or we're never happy with it at all, what you want to be careful of is not projecting that too much onto others. Because what ends up happening is if you've got the title of an individual who has a bad behavior or is challenging to work with or is always complaining, then most people are not going to want to work with you. Most people are going to see or forecast what working with you could look like if you disagree with them. So it's okay to have an opinion. It's okay to share your thoughts. But it's very vital that in any working environment, whether it's positive or negative, you maintain a steady hand and you have as healthy of an attitude as you possibly can. Okay? Because even if where you work right now, you perceive it as a short-lived solution, or a place that you've already decided is not going to be in your long-term future, that's okay. For as long as you're there, project a certain level of professionalism and a positive attitude. Because if you don't, it's just going to affect you negatively, right? And you don't want to do that. That means burning bridges. That means closing the door on future opportunities. So be careful. All right, everyone, those are the 5 things that come to mind when I think of when you're at the beginning stages of your career, trying to propel it to the next level. Like always, if you found that this video provided you with some sense of guidance, support, some new information, or maybe even validated things that you already knew, please like, share, subscribe, comment below. And as always, my goal is to provide you with high-level quality content on a low-scale budget. So looking forward to talking to you guys again. See you in the next one. Bye for now.